So continuing our look into smaller scale armour, we've got the Rubicon models. Panzerbefehlswagen 3, Offs E, H, J or L. Now I think these, well I'm not sure, I thought they were aimed at wargaming, and I also thought you got like multiple in a box. That's not the case. What you get is you've got multiple options in one box. You get a generic decal sheet for the for German tanks 5, so this is for your Panzer 3s, and this has a whole load, all the markings you'd really need, covering sort of Africa Corps, going into Russia, and you've got all the markings that you would expect to have running through here. There's the Africa Corps ones there as well, so they all look absolutely fine to me. But as with decals, proof is in the using, not the looking at. So what we've got here is 4 sprues, and they cover the generic stuff and everything you possibly need to be able to make a it's a command version of the Panzer 3, and you can make the Offs E, H, J and L out of this boxing. Now I was initially I bought this at the Tank Museum. This was £20, just to give you an idea of the price, and I was originally going to go and get the Panzer 3. And I then switched because I thought, well, Panzerbefehlswagen is slightly more interesting, slightly more different, so that's what I've gone for. So it's worth looking at the instructions first, because this shows us how they actually go about allowing you to build all the different variants. Now, as far as the running gear is concerned, it's the Offs E, which is unusual in this aspect, that has a different sprocket and idler, which they've moulded. So it's just for that one variant, and then the other 3 variants have the later, a more generic sort of running gear that they can use from the sprue. So first off, you need to pick what your version you want to be, and these triangles relate to all variants, so obviously each variant needs to have those drilled out. And then if you're going to do the E, it would just be orange and blue. If you're going to do the H, it would be the red, blue and purple. And if you're going to do the J and L, it would just be purple, green and red. So you need to sort of familiarise yourself with that, and then you need to drill those holes out. And then as you're going on through, it's telling you what you need to do for building the different variants. I would suggest highlighting which one you want to do and go through all the way through the instructions, highlighting and crossing through the ones you don't need to do. Because for here it says skip to 2A for Offs H and step 3A for Offs J L. That's after building this up. So this is going to be for all of them, and then you would, if you're going to do the JL, you'd skip all the way through to here. You'd build that up and then work on through. This is your set of instructions there for the J and the L. And if you're going to do the H, you start here. So you go through there like this and on into finishing that. And if you're going to do the E, which is one I'm going to do because I like early war Panzers, we would start through here, go on through there, building up the hole. You've got this section all complete with the fenders on it, and you just put the sort of hole on top. So you build up this flat bit, which is the upper hole, which goes onto the lower hole, which is a tub you make up. Tracks go on, the kind of box of the upper hole goes onto that, then the turret, and then the radio gear. So it can seem a little bit daunting initially, but once you actually look through it, it should make sense. Now, interestingly, I think this might be Rubicon. I was wondering if it might be a UK company. It says made in China, but there was something I saw that made me think they were based in the UK, but I'm not sure on that. Here is the running gear. So these are the 2 sections for the later versions, and these are the 2 sections for the earlier variant. And it's really just down to the sprocket and the idler, which are considerably different. The plastic is shiny, maybe even a little bit oily to feel. I'm not sure anything's actually coming off, it's just the feel and the look it gives you. So this might be a candidate for, once you've built your model, you might want to wash it just before painting. We've got a recess in the gun barrel there, and we do have slide moulding, and we have open-ended gun barrels. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different gun barrels. That's nice to see. The detail on the wheels is very good. You've got these sections of wheels here that glue onto the rear side, and they are joined together with a sprue. I would probably nip that off because you're going to see that through. It all looks absolutely fine. There's no sort of weld beads or cast texture or anything like that. There's a bit of bolt detail here where there's a bolted on extra piece of armour there. And then here we've got the one piece lower tub. I thought we had to actually build that up, but it's not the case. Then we've got 4 different sections here for the access doors for the transmission cover. And then we've got the rear deck with 2 different idlers and 1 set of sprockets there. We've got tools already glued in here. I don't think this is too bad. It is probably, well, is it unfair? I'm not sure. It is unfair looking at it. If you were to compare this to the Vespid model Panther that we did, which is actually smaller, this is considerably more basic. That had weld beads and all sorts of things added to it. Whereas this doesn't really have any of that. It does have resale panel lines, and it's got nice raised detail there on the side fenders. Everything's absolutely fine. Good level of detail. And we've got the moulded in one-piece aerial there that goes on the back for the radio version. These are the turret roofs. You can see it's a little bit basic, and the doors and hatches are somewhat overemphasized. Machine gun barrel there, more side panels for the turret and the rear panel. It all looks absolutely fine. This is the tow cable, so there's no sort of detail on that. There's no ridging or making it actually look like cable. We've got 2 crew figures, so that's one with a side cap, one with a more sort of peaked cap. So there's the tow, torsion bar, swing arms, the block of the upper hole. Yes, it all looks okay. It looks like it's going to be a simple build, and it is. There is a good platform there for extra detailing. So there we are with a terrible glare, or the Rubicon's Panzerbefehlswagen 3 Alfs E, H, J and L in 1/56 scale. There's some of the information on the back. So you get a Panzer grey version. We've got not actually sure if these are Dunkelgelb or Afrika Korps, but let's see if we've got marking instructions. No, this is your marking instructions here. So it is basic as far as from a scale model point of view, knowing exactly which division they're from, so you need to do your own research for that. But there we are. Very interesting, something a little bit different, and we'll see how it builds up later on the channel. So as always, if you like what you see, do consider subscribing, let me know your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.